What if the thing you've been hiding from your audience, the frustration you didn't think was content worthy, the struggle you assumed was too personal, too messy, too unimpressive to film, is actually the single most renewable resource your channel will ever have? Because here's what nobody tells you. After that first upload, the second hardest part comes down the road. Months later, staring at a blank page, wondering what on earth you're supposed to talk about next. And the answer was never find more topics. The answer was sitting inside you the entire time. Let me ask you something. Honest, right now. When was the last time something frustrated you? Really frustrated you? And your first instinct was to hide it instead of film it. For most creators, that happens constantly. Something goes wrong, a plan falls apart, a piece of software breaks at the worst possible time, a relationship moment leaves you spinning, and the instinct is always the same. Deal with it privately. Then, once it's fixed and presentable, maybe mention it later, cleaned up, with the rough edges sanded off. But here's the problem with that instinct. By the time you've sanded off those rough edges, you've also sanded off the part that actually connects. So here's the first question worth sitting with. How many of your good days have made it into your content compared to how many of your hard days have made it into your content? If you're like most people, the ratio is wildly lopsided. And that imbalance is exactly why so many creators run out of things to say. Good days are rare, polished, and frankly, kind of boring to watch. Hard days are constant, raw, whether you realize it or not, universally relatable. Everyone is frustrated by something. Everyone is stuck on something right now. And the moment you start treating your own friction as material instead of something to manage privately, you'll forever have content. Permanently have content. This is the core shift. Mining your deepest frustrations doesn't mean oversharing shock value. It's not what we're trying to go for here. It means recognizing that your private struggle and someone else's private struggle are very often the exact same struggle. We're all just human after all. They're just experiencing it in isolation, assuming they're the only one. The moment you document yours, you've built a bridge between something that felt unbearably personal and something that turns out to be completely universal. Hi, I'm Dan at Being Lifted Media. Please remember to like, subscribe, most importantly, comment, that's important too. And please share this video. Here's a question worth asking yourself. What's something you've struggled with recently that you've assumed was just you? And have you ever stopped to consider that it almost certainly isn't? This is where the perpetual content machine actually comes from. Not from a content calendar, not from a list of video ideas you brainstormed once and now stare at blankly. It comes from your daily experience. The small failures, the recurring annoyances, the things that make you mutter under your breath before you even realize you're doing it. Those moments are happening to you constantly, whether or not you're making videos. The only difference between a creator who never runs dry and one who's perpetually blocked is whether they're capturing those moments or letting them evaporate. Think about what that means practically. Creative block isn't actually a lack of material, it's a lack of noticing. You're not short on frustrations, you're short on the habit of treating frustration as a signal worth recording instead of a feeling worth getting past as quickly as possible. So here's the next question. What if instead of asking, what should I make a video about? You started asking, what's bothering me right now and why? That second question never runs dry. It can't. As long as you're alive and engaged with the world, you will have something bothering you. A task that's harder than it should be. A system that doesn't work the way it's supposed to. A goal you're not hitting and don't fully understand why. Every one of those is a thread, and pulling on it is where the story actually lives. But here's the part that takes this from personal venting to high impact storytelling. It's not the structure itself that resonates. It's the documentation of the struggle in real time or close to it. There's a massive difference between I used to struggle with this, but I'm fine now, and I'm currently struggling with this, and here's exactly what it feels like. Much more intense, much more real, much more emotion, because you're going through it right now. The first is a summary. The second is an experience your audience gets to live through with you. And lived experience creates a kind of resonance that polished retrospectives almost never achieve. Ask yourself honestly, when you watch other creators, are you more drawn to the ones who tell you they overcame something, or the ones who show you what overcoming it actually looks like in the moment before they even knew how it would end? This is the engine, not I have a problem, therefore content, but I have a problem. I'm going to document the friction of actually living through it, the false starts, the wrong turns, the parts that don't make sense yet, and the documentation becomes the video. The struggle isn't the obstacle to making the content. The struggle captured, honestly, is the content. And here's why this becomes sustainable in a way that idea generation never is. Your problems don't run out. New ones replace old ones constantly. As we grow and overcome one hurdle, we come across another one, and we'll learn how to accomplish and overcome that and continue to move forward and grow and evolve. And the minute you resolve one frustration, you know there's 3 more that are already forming. Because that's simply what being a person engaged with the world looks like. Which means the well doesn't just refill, it's permanently overflowing. The only limiting factor is whether you're willing to point the camera at it. So here's a question worth sitting with. What's one frustration you're dealing with right now, today, this week, that you've been keeping completely off camera? That frustration is a video, not a polished, resolved, lesson learned video. A real time, right now, in progress, here's where I am at video. And the version of you that's willing to film that messy, uncertain mid-struggle, is the version your audience will trust the most. Because it's the version that looks exactly like them. Are you waiting for life to calm down before you have something worth filming? Or are you willing to film it precisely because it hasn't? Because the moment you stop separating my life from my content, you stop running out of either. Your daily friction isn't a distraction from your channel, it is your channel. Pick up the camera the next time something goes wrong, not after you fixed it, but while you're still in it. Drop it in the comments below. What's one frustration from this week that you never thought you'd film? Because that frustration might be exactly what someone else needed to see today. And we're all here to help. We're all here to help one another. Thanks everyone. Have an awesome day. See you in the next one.